Hey, did you know that a school of piranha, the flesh-eating fish, that a school of them, a group of them, can devour a child in just 30 seconds? Crazy. Anyway, I lost my job at the aquarium today, so there's shaving, right? I don't have Corona beer like Matti had the other day, but I do have wine from the Veneto region, which is one of the more afflicted areas of northern Italy. So, something. I already regret doing the video I'm gonna do, but I'll do it anyway. It's a bit silly actually, but I thought it was a good idea. And then I picked up all the stuff and here I am, so I'll do it anyway. So I was thinking that I have a lot of stuff, hardware and software, but if I started wet shaving or straight razor shaving today, knowing what I know now, which is not much, but it's something, what would I get? What would I purchase? And what would I use? Well, a lot of things, and there are fancy razors I have and expensive soaps, and maybe I would shave with only Martin de Contre all my life, but if I put a reasonable hat on, what makes sense to buy if you want to start shaving with a straight razor? That's the approach. So I'll talk a little bit about that because I did bring the kit out, and then I'll do the shave with the things. Well, you need a straight razor. There's loads of them, old, new, nice, pitted, wedge, full hollow, whatever. What I would get is a full hollow razor. Wedges are cool, but starting out, a full hollow will give you a better shave, for sure. You got to know how to use it, but it is easier and better to start with. You can go secondhand, which I like. I buy a lot of secondhand stuff. If you want a good one though, you're not going to save a whole lot. You're going to save a little bit. One very price-worthy straight razor to purchase new is Ralf Aust from Solingen in Germany. So one of the three big towns when it comes to razors, together with Eskilstuna in Sweden and Sheffield in the UK. This is an inexpensive full hollow razor. This is 6/8. He makes all kinds, but this is the basic one. He makes 5/8 as well. Wooden handle, looks nice, perfect razor. Absolutely nothing wrong, and performs every time, keeps a super edge, easy to maintain. Nothing fantastic in terms of looks. It's pretty basic, but it's a super razor. I paid 170 euros for it, or my wife did when she gave it to me. The 5/8 is a bit cheaper. You can get the same quality razor if you're lucky for 100 euros, second hand, or vintage even. But you have to be lucky, and you have to purchase it from someone who you trust and who says it's good. So if you got that, you can save a bit of money. But if you want a new one anyway, this is pretty cool. You don't have to spend 300-400 euros on a super fancy one, because it's not going to shave any better than this. This is not a budget razor. It's just extremely price-worthy for being newly made. You'd be the first owner, and it's handmade in Solingen, Germany. To maintain the razor, you have to purchase a strop. And you have to actually use it every time you shave too. Different kinds. This is a hanging strop, so it hangs. There are paddle strops, which are like a small paddle. I have both. I use this more because it's more convenient, but I like my paddle one as well. This one has two thingies, a textile one and a leather one. You don't absolutely need the textile. I only use it just after shaving, do a few laps to make sure the edge is properly dry, because that's the only way to really know. You can do that on leather as well. That works just fine. So this, you don't have to spend money on this, but it looks nice. And I got this second hand. Can't remember what I paid, but I paid quite a bit less than new. No point in buying a new one unless you really want a new one. I would get a 3-inch wide one. It is easier. You anyway have to do cross what do you say, X strokes to make sure the razor is properly stropped, but you got more to work with that. So that's what I would do. Brands, I have no idea. This is Australian. I have an American type of leather. Probably doesn't matter. You can actually strop on your forearm. It's just more work, and eventually you're going to catch yourself. So that's what you need. What you also need, and I would say need, especially if you don't intend to hone your own razors, which is a tremendous way to make sure your wet shaving does not save you money, because you're going to waste shitloads of cash on stones, I'm sure. I don't hone my own razors because I need them 100% perfect, and I can't do that, and I'm not interested in learning. I have tried, so I send them away, which is way cheaper than to get your own stones, guaranteed. What I do on a regular basis, every, I don't know, 15-20 shaves with a razor, maybe more, is I strop them on a pasted strop. So, and you can put it on anything. This is very light wood. We call it balsa wood in Swedish. I don't know if it's the same. It doesn't really matter. Piece of wood, flexible, reasonably straight. You anyway have to do a bit of move the razor around, but this helps. You can't do it all the time because you will make the edge thinner, but it refreshes it more than a strop does. And then after you use it on this one, you wipe it off with a dry piece of tissue, and then you strop as per usual. This saves sending it too often for honing. So the actual and the paste, I think there's different kinds of paste. This is chromium oxide, Crocs, which is the most common one. You can get it in a spray or you can get it in a crayon. It costs nothing, next to nothing. That was more talk than I thought. Then you need a soap, and God, it doesn't matter a lot which one you choose. All you want is for it to be slick, so the razor glides properly. The rest is just luxury and scents, etc. It's, whatever you want to. But if it was me, I would get an artisan soap. So if you're in America, you get a Barrister and Man or something like that. If you're in Europe, there's a lot of stuff to get. I'll be shaving today with this one because I haven't used it in a long time, and I just remembered I love it and I love the scent. This is Phoenix and Bow Citra Royale, which smells like a lemon pie, and it's fantastic. So you need that. Palm olive cream from your supermarket doesn't really matter that much. It's a matter of preference and how much money you want to pay. Speaking of that, I thought my cheeky comment in the latest video about the fact that the cost of soap is not interesting because it's so low per shave anyway. I thought that would stir up a bit of commentary, but either you didn't care or you agree with me that it doesn't matter what the cost of soap is. Interesting. Brush. The obvious recommendation is a synthetic brush. There's millions of them. They're quite inexpensive, except if you want a fancy handle. And they're good, and they're maybe better if you have a good one than a natural hairbrush in terms of making a perfect lather every time. But knowing what I know, I would still get a badger brush. And I would get a pretty good one for not too much money. This is, you can barely see that because it's sort of gone. This is from Maseto Shaving. I'll try and remember to put a link. Made in China. So I can't guarantee that the badgers didn't suffer. Sorry, I didn't even think about that. If you're not too fussy about that sort of thing, Chinese will be okay. I'm sure most badger brushes are made in China anyway. Or I paid $35 for this. Is it as good as the $200 Paladin brush I have, which is similar, although a little bit bigger? No, it's not as good, but it's pretty close, and it's a sixth of the price, so it makes a lot of sense. You know, ugly, boring handle, but it's a really good two-band badger brush. And then you need, that's it basically. You need something, or you probably need something after the shave, and it's, you know, your preference in terms of what it is, and if it's alcohol, if it's a splash, if it's a balm, what scent it is, if you have alum or Thayer's witch hazel, whatever. The only thing that is important to me after a shave is that I moisturize. I need to do that, and I do it in the summer as well, but I sure as hell do it in the winter. So just your generic face cream, doesn't even have to be specific for shaving. Those are the basic things. So thanks for listening. Now we're going to shave. Going to wet the face. Face is prepped with the same moisturizing lotion as I just showed you. The brush, since it's natural hair, has been soaking for a while. So I just re-wetted it to get it not so cold anymore. I squeezed it out so there's not a lot of water in it. I forgot about this one. And I thought that's a summer scent, so I won't use it. This is the only soap I have that makes me hungry, seriously hungry while I shave, because it smells like food. Such a natural scent of lemon. I have a few citrusy type soaps, or at least one more, and it's a bit artificial. This is crazy, and it's a good soap too. It is, yeah, it's really good. Phoenix and Bow. It's my only one. I presume the others are quite similar in terms of performance, but this 2 years ago, new. So it's probably enough. You can take a lot because, as I said, it's completely irrelevant what the cost of the soap is, because cost per shave is negligible. You spend more on electricity if you want to have the bathroom lit than you do on the soap. Actually, I haven't fact checked that, but probably. So if you want to shave with Martin de Candra or something with gold, pieces of gold in it, you can. Except if the price for gold goes up too much. Went up today. Went up today when the Fed increased the interest rate. That's a bit odd. Everything went up. It's gonna go down. The world's gonna collapse because of this fucking coronavirus. I'm in quarantine, as you know, and not to receive visitors anymore or do any traveling, which is a tad tricky if you're a traveling salesman. But hey. Okay, so painted that on, and it's already looking good, but it does need a bit more water, so let's put that on. It's gonna be a long video. Lucky you guys. Yeah! You're not even paying to watch this. Incredible. So coronavirus, bad luck. Free shaving video on YouTube. Good luck. See, things even themselves out. This is nice and wet. I can have it a lot more dense and voluminous, but I don't want to. That's freaking perfect. Yeah, so I know I'm supposed to be in a quarantine, but it's winter sports season, so, and I don't have the coronavirus, so I've been watching some sports live. I went to a bandy game yesterday. A long time ago I showed you bandy. I just got silly derogatory remarks, so I'm not gonna show you that again. It's this game on ice you play in countries with real Vikings. And I went there, I traveled for an hour to get there. And the game is delayed, and it was supposed to be delayed 3 hours. So I went home again, and then in the end they didn't play because the ice was so crap. So they played again today, and my team won, which was very good. But I couldn't go because I went to the ice hockey coliseum in my town and watched my team win, you know, against a really good team. My team are European champions and reigning Swedish champions, and you know, really should be top 4 of the league. They've been shit this year. They were good last year. It's, you know, we start playing in September, October, and we end in March. So they've been really, but they won today. 1-0. The goalie saved 42 shots. Pretty impressive. So 11,000 very happy people. Such a nice razor. I used the DE again yesterday with the Dorco blade on the second use. Perfect. I love those blades. I put them in the leaf today for a head shave. Those Dorco, the bad kind of Dorco blades. The people say are, if I take away the profanities, in essence, paraphrasing, it's the worst shit blades ever made. According to your comments. Put them in the leaf. Brilliant. Love them. I have no frame of reference. So it's pretty good, because it can only get better, right? If you enjoy the shit blades, it's perfect. I'm a cheap date, finally. As long as I can have priceless soaps. Seriously, no comments on that? Okay. So, yeah, so shaving with the DE was perfectly okay. I got a good shave. The result was more or less as good as it would be with the straight razor. So, and I can practice and make that improve for sure. It's just so boring compared to straight razors for me. You know, why would you? I don't know why you guys use DEs when you can use a straight razor. Okay, you can get a closer shave if you spend a lot of time and to get a BBS. BBS is difficult with the straight razor if you have a normal beard, because you sort of have to go 3-4 directions to get BBS, or at least I do. You know, proper baby butt, forehead kind of smooth. And you can't do that with a straight razor because there are some angles, at least I just can't perform. So okay, you can, but I never chase BBS. I get my skin, it hurts. And I shave every day. So I can't. I get very close with a straight razor, and it's non-BBS in just the very same areas all the time. So you get used to that. And I have more fun. Because, you know, this is more fun than tea. To everyone. I'm supposed to show you the list of ingredients in the soap as well. But it's not going to focus. It's supposedly all natural ingredients. As in a lot of artisan soaps. So I guess the potassium stearate tree has been good in terms of harvest. Lather's dissipating a bit. Interesting. Not to the extent that it matters, but it did. So I had a very hydrated lather to start with, and that's the way I like it, usually. Very wet. And then I rinsed and repainted, and so the moisture content will have gone up quite a bit, because the second coating is a bit thin and the face was wet, so a much higher percentage of water will have been in the mix. And I probably pushed it a bit too hard. Not that it matters, but it's not as pretty. It's very slick still. Because a good soap remains slick even if you overhydrate lather. Maybe I just did a poor job working the lather up. I was lazy, perhaps. You can't just mix the soap and the water. You need to agitate it properly. And I'm certainly not above average in terms of leather making and shaving. Shut up, or you'll cut yourself. Apparently there's a film with Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter and people. Film on the musical Sweeney Todd. So my son watches that. He's watched it a few times. He loves it. And maybe I should. He says, "Hey, you gotta watch it. It's got a straight razor in it." And I think the straight razor is a murder weapon. So I told him, we don't need that. We're all gonna die from coronavirus. We're all going to die. All of us. And we won't have seen much of the world before we do, because we're on a travel ban. But But I'm not bitter. No. Probably gonna run out of food soon, but that's another story. Hello, can you drive this food to Sweden? No. Those fuckers won't travel, so I won't see them. I'll probably regret saying those things about Corona when we're all dead from it, but I understand closing Iran because they seem to have no freaking clue what they're doing, and everybody, it's like 10% of the parliament of the MPs have it, members of parliament. I mean, how the hell? You gotta really mess up to get to that point. But here, I don't know. Okay, I'll stop talking about it because it will be famous last words, won't it? Okay, pick up. The time of pick up. Okay. It's a good thing the razor is good because this leather kind of isn't. I was going to say that a good reason to use an artisan soap is that they're all good, you know, if they've been around for a few years, and they're dead easy to work with and you really can't go wrong. It's almost like cheating to use one. But clearly you can mess up. Not horribly, but still, come on. It is slick, I assure you. It is very slick. Okay, I'm gonna rinse for about 2 minutes. Time you're never gonna get back if you watch that. You can fast forward, you know. Okay. So that was okay, far from perfect. Needs a bit of work here, needs a bit of work there and there. So, okay. User error on the lather. I messed up, I don't know what I did. Happens, not a bad shave. but not a very satisfying shade either. Just the moisturizer, I put it on my whole face and my head. Just coat everything in, because my skin gets dry in the winter. It's a whole other procedure that I need, pre-shaving posture in the winter compared to the summer, and that's okay. It's life in the land of Vikings, eh? Okay. Let's hope the next shave will be good, or at least better. I don't know, I hope you got something out of my thinking about stuff I would get if I started wet shaving today. I've done it. It was in my head, I needed to do it, I did it. You can forget about it, that's okay. As long as you take care and you stay sharp.